welcome to Geek Therapy Radio. You've got your mental curator, Johnny Hamburger. As you can see, if you are watching this on YouTube, I'm bringing you behind the scenes of how I record these episodes in the car. As you see, I've got my MacBook Pro 16 right here, and I'm speaking into the left speaker grill because as I've mentioned in the past, that is where the main microphone is in MacBook Pros, at least. I assume it's the same in MacBook Airs. I've got this is what the episode's going to be about. This is a little bit of a shorter episode. It's 9:45, and I have to be up in the office for work at 10. So this will be about a 10-minute episode, I would say. I'm going to try to keep it there. But yeah, so as of now, I'm recording my MacBook Pro 16. It's got the M1 Pro chip in there. I think it's 10-core and 16-core GPU. I think that's what it is. But I ordered recently, I've been looking for a sub 14-inch or below, ultralight laptop that I can put in my everyday carry, that I can edit video on. Of course, it's not going to be as powerful as working on a MacBook Pro 16-inch with the M1 Pro chip in it. It's certainly not going to be as powerful as editing on my 5950X with the RTX 3090 graphics card. But the MacBook Air, I ordered I think it's a 2021 MacBook Air with the original M1 chip in it. I believe it's the 7-core GPU, not the 8-core GPU, 256 gigabytes of storage, which is not that much, but that's not very important to me since I'm always working off of these external solid state drives anyways. I did get it with 16 gigabytes of RAM. I don't have it yet. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday. For whatever reason, FedEx did not leave it at the door. There's no notes anywhere about needing a signature or anything like that, so I don't know why they didn't just leave it. But it was supposed to be a day early yesterday when they tried to deliver it a day early, but the actual delivery date is today as of recording Thursday. So I left a note on the door saying, hey, you can just hide it behind the chairs. That's totally cool. I also told my wife if she's at home today to if FedEx knocks on the door, that's what it is. But during Black Friday, I ordered a couple of laptops on Black Friday because the deals were crazy. One was a really cheap Snapdragon X Plus laptop. I think I've talked about it. I ordered a 15.6-inch Samsung Galaxy Book 4 with the Snapdragon X Plus chip in there, just as an experiment. It's not great at this point. I would say Windows on ARM, it's certainly way better for office tasks, for doing light load kind of things. 20-hour battery life, easy. I would expect it all day. The battery life just does not go down if you're doing anything like word processing or even just watching YouTube videos. It lasts forever. But for video editing, anything over 1080 is just going to be a pain on the Snapdragon X Plus on the Samsung Galaxy Book 4 that I have. So I got it more as an experiment. It was Black Friday. It was cheap. I whip it out every once in a while just to kind of see with Windows updates. The audio drivers, for instance, on Snapdragon Plus and Snapdragon processors, period, are not there yet all the way. They have the USB audio driver, which allows one input and two outputs. One input for recording and two outputs for stereo output. It's a basic USB audio driver. That means it's not compatible with my Tascam 2020 that has over 20 ins and outs on it. The ISO drivers are not there yet on Windows on ARM. So as far as productivity, I'm very limited because obviously a lot of what I do involves audio work. So the fact that Windows on ARM thus far does not have great audio drivers is a shame. It's not a shame, it's just not there yet. I know that several manufacturers are working in cahoots with Microsoft to update those drivers and make Windows on ARM as good as M1 Silicon Macs as far as driver support. But the thing with M1 is that it supported multi-input as far as I know, because I got the M1 Pro or the MacBook Pro in 2020 at launch. I was so excited about it, and I plugged it into my audio interfaces and it just worked fine. The Rosetta 2 translation layer emulation translation layer worked just fine. There was no issues running Pro Tools or running Reaper or anything like that at launch for Windows M Silicon. But on Windows on ARM, Snapdragon processors and Microsoft, there's driver support is just not there yet. It was kind of, if you're looking at Windows on ARM to do audio production work and you have a multi-input, multi-output audio interface, as of recording right now in February 2025, you're going to be out of luck. You can definitely record with a simple interface, like a simple $100 USB, like M Audio or Focusrite, whatever, that just has one microphone input and two monitor outputs. Sure, you can do that all day long, but if any serious production work is not gonna fly there if you need multiple audio inputs at once. In my interface, it just won't even recognize it. I can't even play audio through the Tascam. It just won't play. Won't even see it. It'll say, your device is not connected. I'm like, yes, it is connected. It's whatever. Not there yet on Windows on ARM. So back to the MacBook Air that I ordered. The 2021 MacBook Air, 256 gigabyte solid state drive and 16 gigabytes of RAM. 16 gigabytes of RAM was very important to me, obviously, for video editing. That's not to say that it's been well established, well documented that even the base model 8 gigabyte version of the M1 MacBook Air is more than capable of 4K video editing. You can even 6K. They tout that you can scrub through an 8K timeline on an M1 MacBook Air, even with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Look over YouTube, Google search it. It's all over the place. You know, it's not going to be the same as editing like on an M1 Pro or an M1 Max chip or a 16-inch MacBook Pro, something like that. But you can do actual video editing work without being weighed down, without being bogged down, without having to wait forever for rendering and for cache. And that's why, back to when I was ordering laptops on Black Friday, I ordered also alongside the Samsung Windows on ARM experiment that I still have, obviously. I ordered, what is it? Oh gosh, I'm blanking out on the 14. Asus VivoBook 14. Beautiful display. The 16 gigabytes of RAM that it came with was just not enough. On a Windows chip, it had a Core i9 185H, something like that processor, 20 threads. It was an amazing little beast, but the 16 gigabytes of RAM and the integrated graphics on that i9 Ultra chip, whatever, was just not up to snuff for quality video editing that you could do on the fly. So I returned it. I had like a 90-day return policy. I returned it, got all my money back for it, and I wound up going with, I was beating around the bush. I was avoiding, I was like, I know that I'm probably going to wind up on a first gen M1 MacBook Air. I know that this is probably where it's going to wind up, but let me try the Windows side of things, the non-Mac side of things first. It's like, you know what? Yup. It all roads lead to M1 MacBook Air with 16 gigabytes of RAM that I got for around $500. That is insane. I don't have enough time in this podcast. Gonna have to start wrapping it up, but a 16 gigabyte of RAM M1 MacBook Air for around $500 is the best value in an ultra portable right now. Like if someone walking on the street asked me, what I need a really light, powerful laptop to do a bunch of, like M1 MacBook Air. Simple. They're so cheap now because we're 4 generations now into the M processors that you can score a still legitimately powerful M1 MacBook Air for around $500 used, you know, in good condition on Amazon or whatever. That's going to do everything you need it to do without hiccups. That's baller. It's crazy. Apple, and I sound like a fanboy, but I'm not. You've heard all the different Windows stuff that I have, including Windows on ARM. But right now, bang for the buck, best value for the money if you are a content creator who does serious video editing and serious audio work, serious production work, serious content creation, and you need an ultra portable sub 14-inch laptop that can do its all. It's going to be the M1 MacBook Air of 8 gigabytes or 16 gigabytes. But I'd say at this point, if you're looking at a used MacBook Air and you're into serious production work, get the 16 gigabyte model. So that's where I'm at. And hopefully I'll have that in today and I can start tinkering around with it. I like that the the 2021 MacBook Airs before the M2 refresh and before the M3s and so on had the top firing speakers. In the modern MacBook Airs, current generation MacBook Airs, the speakers are below the keyboard, but I like the way that the first gen has them sticking out front, kind of like the MacBook Pro 16-inch. See the speakers front facing? What's going on? Why did my radio just turn on? I guess that's my cue to kind of wrap up the podcast here and go up to my real job. So I'm recording in DaVinci Resolve. I don't know if you can see it really on the screen there, but that's what it is. Thank you so much for listening to this quick episode of the Geek Therapy Radio podcast. You are worthy of love. You're worthy of giving love. You're worthy of receiving love, and you're worthy of your own self-respect. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. My wisdom teeth feel so much better now. It's 2 weeks after I've had the procedure. I'm healing nicely. All right, peace.